What made you want to do this show?
Oh, come on now.
Come on now.
It wasn't even a question. Matt was like, I got this show. I was like, who you got on it? No one. I was like, well, shit, I got you.
Jeff Wright is a writer and performer on Late Night with Seth Meyers. He has over 2.5 million followers on TikTok. You can see him perform live on tour next month, Chicago, Memphis, and Nashville. I'm Matt Ward, and I think you should know Jeff Wright.
I am happy to be here. Make some noise for yourselves. In New York City, greatest city in the world, right? Yeah. Okay. I've been traveling around trying to find the greatest city. I recently went to DC, and I'm gonna tell you, I like it. It's like the nicest white people I've ever met in my life in DC. It was so nice. In fact, I was walking down a narrow sidewalk, right? And this white man was walking towards me. And as soon as we met in the middle, he moved out the way and let me go. He still called me the N-word, but the fact that he moved out was so polite. I think awkward and weird things happen to me because I smile a lot and I got a smiley face. And I'll be honest, I do smile a lot, but it doesn't mean I'm happy all the time, you know what I mean? It's just my default face, which is annoying because it makes it hard to look like I can keep a secret, you know? Like anyone that smiles this much looks like they always have something to say. Like I walk around with a constant look on my face like, man, you ain't gonna believe this. It's annoying, y'all. I think my smile's been holding me back. This smile is why I couldn't become a doctor, you know? Because you can't give bad news when your default face is a smile, you know what I mean? Just imagine, excuse me, sir. We did the best we could. That's your dad, right? Yeah, he's not gonna make it. Oh, and you ain't gonna believe this, but your insurance ain't covering none of it. It's terrible. It's terrible. I found out having a smiley face is terrible in public school. You guys went to public school? I smelled it when I walked in. It smelled like 2% milk in here. I learned a lot in public school. I learned you can get made fun of with a compliment. Shit is the scariest shit I've ever heard in my life. I walked in, the first day of public school, they were asking kids for their favorite color. I said blue. Somebody looked at me and was like, man, you look like your favorite color's blue. I was like, it is. The teacher was asking for someone to read. I raised my hand. Somebody was like, man, you look like you know how to read. I was like, I can. What? I went home and I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I'm getting bullied. Maybe, though. I'm not sure. They might be encouraging me. I don't. She said, well, what happened? I was like, well, these kids are making fun of me because my favorite color is blue. And my mom was like, man, you look like your favorite color is blue. Damn, she went to public school, too? Crazy. It's crazy. Public school has taught me a lot. Public school taught me I don't like kids. I don't think I'm ready to have kids yet. Like my friends are starting to have kids. This shit is scary. They make it sound like going to prison. They're like, yo, Jeff, I'm looking at 18 to life. It's not good. I think the real reason why I say I'm not ready to have kids yet is because I don't want to end up like my dad. See, my dad left when I was 17. Now I am not upset that my dad left when I was 17. I'm just sad that 17 is too old to say I grew up without a dad. You know what I mean? It don't count no more. My dad waited till I was getting ready to go to college. I was like, Dad, I'm leaving. He was like, we leaving? My dad did do a lot of nice things, though, growing up. He got me a dog, even though I'm terrified of dogs. I don't like that choker, because that's a real fear, okay? No one respects when you're afraid of dogs. I'm afraid of a lot of things, like fires. I think that's my number one fear. But it's not of the fire itself, it's the optics of it. I don't like that during a fire, people say, leave your stuff and go outside. Because ain't nothing worse than getting outside and realizing you had time, you know what I mean? You just outside, butt-ass naked. Your neighbor looking at you like, what happened? And you're like, it's a fire in there. You can't see it yet, but it's in there. Now y'all both just standing there staring at a house that stands, and you're thinking to yourself, damn, I guess I had more time. Could have grabbed a couple kids. Maybe told my wife about the fire. Or some pants. But I'm afraid of dogs, and the reason why I'm afraid of dogs is because one day I was in my neighborhood, right? I was running. It was a beautiful day. The birds were chirping. They were saying, go Jeff. I was going, right? Out of nowhere, this big-ass 101 looking Dalmatian dog came in front of me. This dog is big. You can tell why Cruella wanted to turn it into a sweater, right? This is a big fucking... Anyway, this dog had a gold chain, a Rolex. It could have had a gun. I don't know. Okay? Adrenaline makes you see a lot of things. Just ask the police. Anyways. That ain't even a joke. That's a bar, baby. So I see the dog with the gun, and I start to panic, right? And his owner came out. And it was an older white lady, and she looked at me and she said, "Oh, don't worry. My dog don't bite. My dog don't bite." That dog looked at her, looked back at me, and I swear I heard that dog say, "Believe that bullshit if you want to." I didn't know I could speak dog, but I'm pretty sure I heard him say, "Run!" I said, "You ain't got to tell me twice, Scooby-Doo. I'm hauling ass, right?" I heeded the warning, I took the advice, started running for my life, right? I look behind me on the right, I see the dog. On my left, I see a car. I look inside the car, it's my mom. I'm like, "Oh my God, God is real. Help, Mom. I'm being chased by this dog." My mom looked at me dead in my chest and said, "Man, you look like you're being chased." And the dog looked at me and was like, "Damn, she went to public school?" You guys have been lovely. I've been Jeff Wright. Thank you guys so much.
Guys, how funny was Jeff? Come on. Jeff, very funny set. Thank you for being our very first guest.
Aw, I'm glad to be your first, buddy.
Thank you. 2.5 million followers on TikTok. How did that happen? Is that something you expected?
Yes, absolutely. Honestly, I was like, okay, because you know, you make weird and goofy stuff, but then when people like it or follow, it was like, okay, I mean, I guess I wasn't as weird as I thought.
Especially when the executive producer of Late Night with Seth Meyers, Mike Shoemaker, reached out to you. What was that like?
So he emails me, and I was like, "How you get this email?" And I was like, "Man, somebody's playing with my email. There is no way." And then he's like, "Let's get on Zoom." And I'm like, "Sure, let's get on Zoom." I answered the Zoom mad regular, and then I realized who he was. I was like, "Oh, you for real?"
When you were making those videos, did you ever expect him to reach out to you, or were you just making it for yourself?
I was making it for myself and like for people that thought it was funny, but I had a trajectory in my head. I was like, it's gonna be mad underground. I'm gonna do stand up, amass this following, and then I'm gonna be on the road. And then as soon as someone was like, "Hey, you want to job on TV?" I was like, "F all that." Television, baby. That's all I wanted the whole time. I knew it.
And in a recent interview, you said, "I want people to think he's not just the guy that made funny videos. This guy does stand up." Why is that important?
I said that. Well, if I said that, then I stand on it. Honestly, it's like, it wasn't necessarily about, "Oh, consider me a stand-up too." It was just like, don't put me in the same category as
Mr. Beast?
Come on now. I was like, why he disrespect Mr. Beast like that? Out of all the people you could have took a shot out on, you could have took a shot at all the people that dance like that.
You just performed in DC. You told us about it. What's it been like to be on the road?
I was genuinely shocked at how nice the people in DC were. Like, I was surprised January 6th happened in DC. I was like, y'all look nice. Why would y'all do that?
They came in for it.
They bust in.
From Florida? No. You have a stand-up joke that I love that I just want to say out loud for everyone else. And it goes like this. "I'll be smiling and everyone just assumes I'm flirting. I told everyone at work good morning with a smile. And now I have 7 girlfriends, 3 boyfriends, and a meeting with HR. What are your Valentine's Day plans?"
Why you sound like you asking me out, man?
So I met you on Amber Ruffin's show. Amber Ruffin and Seth Meyers share the same floor. And one time you did a sketch on Late Night. It was right after crypto crash.
Here with more on that is late night writer and financial expert Jeff Wright.
And you got on and you said, "I knew to stay out of crypto."
Crypto is stupid, and we black people never trusted it.
The sketch killed. I mean, right from the beginning, the audience was with you. And afterwards, you came by our office, perhaps on a victory lap. It was just me, though. It was maybe you were expecting other people. It was just me. You came into my office and you said, "I've never felt that comfortable on this show."
Just gonna expose me like that.
What was that feeling like?
No, it just was like, you get on this show and you're trying to find your voice within it all, and it's like even sketches that are good and you perform well, but it still feels like, yeah, I didn't get it all the way how I'd want to. And there's no like take two, unless you're doing a pre-tape, but there's no take two, so it's live and it's happening. So you're like, damn, I know I could have did it better. But that was one of the takes where I was like, nah, I got it on the first try.
I told you so, okay?
What's it been like for your family and your friends? I mean, what's their response been to your success so far?
I think the funniest thing, I told my grandfather I wanted to be a comedian when I was younger, and this man laughed, and I was like, I was serious. And then he jumped on the couch and he was like, look, I'm a comedian too. And the only reason that bothered me, because that shit was kind of funny, I was like, I could see it, you got something. But like now he's like mad proud and he's like, yeah, I always knew. And I was like, no, you didn't.
Jeff Wright, thank you for being our first guest. Now we want to ask you, who do you think we should know?
Hey, I think you should know Quinta Brunson and Abbott Elementary. If you haven't been watching that show already, you should watch it. It's dope.
Watch Quinta Brunson, watch Abbott Elementary, and watch Jeff on Late Night with Seth Meyers on his TikTok channel called Jeff Right Now, and on tour next month in Chicago and Memphis and Nashville. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Wright.
What's your favorite joke you've ever written?
Damn, that's a good question.
My favorite joke I've ever written might have to be this joke that I wrote about riding in the car with my mom, and we were listening to music, but I wasn't like, she didn't put the music on, I put the music on, right? And Ludacris Move Bitch, and it's like hearing a cuss word in front of your mom, just like you kind of want to lower it, but it's already happening, and it sounds like it's amplifying the cuss word, right? So it sounded like Move Bitch, get out. And my mom looked at me and was like, excuse me? And I was like, no, it's not me, it's the radio. I didn't do this. And then how the joke ends was as I'm walking in the house, a sandal flies by my face, and I turn around, another sandal hits me dead in the face, and I realized the first sandal was a distraction to get me to turn around. And my mom looks at me and goes, you should have moved, bitch.
Anyone else?
I love comedy. I thought you were hilarious. I always wonder how much is true versus like maybe embellished.
I would say 75% of it is true, and then you add gas to that fire, right? So like, my mom clearly threw that sandal at me, but she did not say, move bitch, get out the way, right? Like when I was in DC, a white man really did move out the way, but in my head I was like, it'd be funny if he still felt like, So it's like you just add gas to it, like, you know what I mean? Like, he moved out the way, which is the truth. He had a face on him, like that was like really the truth. So then you add like what it felt like, you know what I mean? And so embellish a little. You gotta lie, truth, tell the truth. It didn't lie.
What made you want to do this show?
Oh, come on now.
Come on now.
It wasn't even a question. Matt was like, I got this show. I was like, who you got on it? He was like, no one. I was like, well, shit, I got you.